Hello and welcome to this new video. I'm gonna talk to you today about FD, which is the new Rust replacement for find. It's pretty cool as well, just like ripgrep was very nice. FD is just the same but for find. Like ripgrep replaces grep, and now FD replaces find. I don't know how many of you have already played with find, but find was always a bit troublesome because it has sometimes a little bit of a weird syntax and options, and the way you use it might be troublesome. Like if you want to do something with the results of find, you can do things with, for instance, the exec. And if any of you guys watching this video has been through my RHGSA exam videos, there are some really there's quite some depth with that exec thing, and they actually tackle it really nicely in this one. So we will dive in. This is the page of the project. If you're interested, you can have a look. There are a lot of contributors as well, like 183, used by quite some people. It's made in Rust. It's very quick. It's using multi-threading, which is really nice and makes it super fast. So just like ripgrep, is just faster, nicer, easier to use. So honestly, again, I don't see a reason why not to use it. It's just great, works better, it's quicker, it's nicer. You have a little demo here, which is pretty neat. So you can have a look here. It's maybe even better than my video, I don't know. Well, I'm trying to explain stuff, but you know, sometimes it's also good just a little bit like this. You see what you can do. It tells you how to do a simple search, the regular expression search. You have a bunch of different options, common execution, la la la. And you see here they are talking about this -x and -X, which have differences, and it's so much better. It simplifies everything the way they did it. And you can even combine it with alias here, they will explain to you. But in our case, we will combine it with ISA, because we've been doing a video on ISA as well. So it just makes sense to combine it with ripgrep, for instance, as well. We'll do something a bit different, not as complicated. This one is relatively, I mean, it's, when you think about it, it's not that complicated because it finds extension files, CPP and la la la, and then it's passing it as argument for RG to do that. So it's really, we will do essentially something similar. We can also do this to convert files. You find the right JPEGs somewhere and you convert all the files there into PNGs. So again, this is pretty neat. You will see. It's very similar to ripgrep. So let's close that. And let's go ahead. So when you install it, I think when I was doing install fdfind. Oh yeah. So when you install it on, if you're on Ubuntu, or if you are using, what's the name? Linux Mint like I am, or any Debian, it's called fd-find. If you're using Fedora, I think it's fd. So depending on your distro, you will need to use a different name for that package. You can also just download the binary and install it through your package manager. That's also a possibility. It's on the web page. Now I closed it, so I won't go back to it. But yeah, you can install the package version. It's also fine. I've been installing this one, so if I do it, it will tell me it's already installed. It's already the newest version, but for Trixie, Debian, I'm on a virtual machine, a container actually. It's an LXC container from running on Proxmox. And I'm going to show you a couple of things. So I copied basically the same thing that I had for my ripgrep demo. I copied it entirely to have a different directory with fd demo. So I'm gonna play with it in there. So let's have a look. So for instance, the first thing you want to do, oh yeah, you might want to do an alias. So if I type alias, I think the last one I did, yeah, you can add this bit fd equals fdfind to your Z shell, because I mean type E fdfind is a bit cumbersome. So what you can do that, and then you can just source your Z shell resources, your Z shell RC, and once you do that, you will just be able to use fd, which is simpler and nicer. So anyway, that being said, you can, I will use ISA actually. Well, it's ISA behind the clock, so if I do LT with icons, I will show you the tree. So this is the files I have in there. This is the same that I had for the ripgrep demo. And I'm going to look for some things in there. So for instance, if I want to see everything, I can just do this. This will show me everything. The hyphen big H big I is showing all the hidden files. So if I do this, I will just see all the files. Basically, essentially, it's the same than if you look at what's displayed here. So it's the same, just without the tree, because you're showing everything. If you do fd log, it will show all the files that are with a log extension. So the -e stands for extension, but in this case it brings nothing. It brings back nothing. Why? Because they are either in the git ignore or in the rg-ignore. So because we are having this, it will be ignored. So now, if I want to still include them, I should do hyphen big H, capital I, and then I will see those logs. So that's how it works. Then, if I search for, let's say, a file like config, I will find both the files and the directories. But I can say, for instance, only directories. So if I do config, but I want only directories, then I do D, and I think it should, oh no, okay, it's not correct. Wait, no, wrong. You need to, it's just the same than ripgrep actually. You need to type -T for type and then D for directory and config. And it will show only the directory. It won't show the files that are, in this case, in the app directory. Who knows, there might even be, if I do again -I, there might be even some other logs. No, this is it. Okay, good. If you want only the files, I think you should do F, if I'm not mistaken. Exactly. So -T F for files, -T D for directory. Very simple, very quick, very efficient. Then if you compare with file, for instance, with find, you will need to type find. So yeah, I'm almost not want to go through the suffering because it's just a pain. You need to type name and then you need to type star and .md. You see, it's just so much more cumbersome. Like, or if you want to type the log, right? And it's just so much more cumbersome. Whereas, what did we do just before? You just do it like this with the logs. Let's say, well, we could just type log log. And in this case, okay, because it's hiding files, we still need to add this. So, but it's just super easy. Another thing it does that's pretty cool, it's what I was mentioning at the beginning. When you would use exec, I copied something here. Let's say if you wanted to like move or replace some files, let's move them. You would need to use this crazy syntax. Like you find the files and then you use the -exec to copy them, right? Or move them. Like you use them as a standard input. Well, this is this crazy syntax. Now let's have a look. I will just Control-C it, and then let's have a look at how it would be with our new syntax. So we do fdr log, and then we need to use -hi for hidden files, and then we copy the stuff. Now we still need to include the standard. It's very similar to what we had before. And yeah, you can use it like this, and then you want to include whatever is before. So you will use the same thing. You will use a dot for the regular expression, and you will use dot log dot whatever. Let's make, we'll in this case copy all the log files and make some backup of them. You know, this is something that sometimes you want to do. Dot log back. What did I do wrong? Such path is not directory. Logback is not directory. Well, that's true. Okay, I will search for this one. Something interesting. I always need to have some problem when I'm doing my videos, so this is fine. Let's go through another one. I will search in the meantime. And okay, the small x. the difference between the, oh yeah, I forgot the X, man, am I stupid? So here after the log you need to have the -X, so that's how it goes. And then now if I do the ls3, oh actually I can use lt, I have some aliases for this one as well. If I do this, then I should see the back file. Exactly, yeah, okay, I forgot the -X. So now we can do something similar. Let's say, do we have some JPEG in there? No, we have TXT. Yeah, I could use some conversion. I didn't make some JPEG files. Ah, it's okay. We can do, we could do the same with copy, but instead of searching for the logs file, I will search for the TXT files, and then I will use a big X, which will do them all at once. It will do a batch. Instead of doing them one by one using the -X, it will use the capital X, it will use small x, and then we will do them. So, okay, I have to be clear, it's a bit tricky. So, small x will do them one by one. The standard inputs will be treated one by one. Just like with the exec of find in the default form, where you use the accolade. If you use capital X, then it will treat everything as batch. The standard input will be a one batch of file, a list of file. So we will use now the big X, and we will do the same thing, but we will treat them like this. It should work just the same. Difference here. Let me see. I'm trying to figure out what I did wrong. Apparently, there is also a problem here. Why did I do? And let's see, would it work if I do it like this? Normally it should. Yes, it did. Okay, so there is a difference in the syntax probably if you do this. Let's try to tar them. I'm curious to see. I think you don't need that stuff because, yeah. You don't need to do all that thing because it's a one big file. Yeah, there is some logic there as well. Let's tar those files. I think it's something more logical in this case. If we do cvf for compress, verbose, and what is the F for file? I think you specify the file name. And we'll do txt.tar, let's say. Yeah, that makes sense, right? Should work. Did it? Did it do it? I think it did. Let's now have a look at the LSLT icons. And we should have some tar files somewhere. Look at that, it appeared. So I think the tar command for listing stuff, oh man, what was it? TLDR, tar. I forget always. Extract, create, list, exactly, TVF, yeah. So if I do tar, TVF, yeah, I don't need a hyphen even, and I have my tar file here, txt.tar, let's see. Yeah, it's there, it's all there, all good. By the way, TLDR is also a very cool tool that I should explain in another video. But anyway, let's go further. So we showed how to pass these kind of arguments, which are the standard inputs. It's not an argument, but it's treated the same way. I mean, yeah. And let's now use some ripgrep along with it. Let's do something, for instance, if we do fde for extension rules search to go files. Let's try it. Yeah, we have one file. It's fine. And then we will pass it as standard input, but as a batch. So in this case, it's just one file. So maybe, okay, look, I'll do it differently. I'll do the YAML file. And I will even add, because you can add as many as you want here, I will put extension YAML with an A and YAML without an A. We had the example in ripgrep as well. And I will pass it as a standard input for a batch command of rg, and I will search in each file for the init content. Does that make sense? And it doesn't find anything. Why? Let me see. It should find stuff. Okay, so it finds the files, but there is no... okay, let me... You know what? Let me find... okay, I'll do it differently, because I forgot the content of those files. So I'll just do like this. Okay, let's search for something that they contain, because otherwise it doesn't make much sense, right? Init is in a different file, I think. Let's search for localhost, because it's there, I see it. So And you see here, sure enough, is we find in one that is called YAML, and the copy that I made, which is called YAML without a, it finds both localhost. So this is how you can pipe stuff in a way, right? I mean, it's not pipe, but it's a similar form than piping. So this is really cool, right? And the syntax is much simpler. Like, I wish I learned that instead of spending my time. I almost want to say, like, wasting my time learning so complicated find syntax with, I mean, you see sometimes I make mistakes here even, but with find you make many more mistakes because the syntax is so annoying when you want to find something. And use the standard input to do stuff with those files. So that's one thing with ripgrep. Yeah, that's a funny one. And now we can combine it with ISA as well. So if I do, for instance, fde, okay, I will use the same one that I used before, but instead I will, for instance, I will use ISA. And I could use alias because ISA is bound to my alias, and I want to make it a tree. Does that work? Yeah, that should work. Or I could tree it. Yeah, look at that. If I do tree and actually, let's try like this. From file, I think this is very cool. From file. Let's try this one. Yeah, look at that. This is so cool. So here, what I'm doing, I am. It's pretty funny. So you see, I'm passing as an input this the results of the fdfind, which are the YAML files, and I'm treeing them. And because their content is there, so you have the content of the files that is presented in the tree. So this is pretty cool, right? I mean, this can really help in some cases, like to have in one command line to display the information that you may want in different files. I think it's great somehow. And so, and then you can pass it also as ISA. If I want to do, like, let's say I want to know the permission of those files, I could do ISA L and then H for human, and then with color, well, color is there normally by default. Yeah, this is pretty cool. I think it's very neat. Or I can do like this to put them in the right order, but it's the same in this case, so it doesn't change much. And yeah, I think we've seen quite some things already. You see, so you've seen, you had a little demo. I don't know how long it is now, maybe it's too long, but I gave you a little demo of what you can do with FD, and you can combine it really with ripgrep, with ISA. You can combine it with others like tree I just did, and that way you can really be efficient in your work. I think you need to think of your specific use cases, of course, but I think it's a great tool and it's quick. Like if you are like now, it's of course a demo with some demo files, and there are not so many. But sometimes again, like with ripgrep, sometimes I'm grinding through a huge amount of logs, and tools like this that can go fast and with multi-threading through a bunch of files, it's just so great. It's so pleasant. Anyway, I hope you liked my little demonstration, and if you liked it, then feel free to like and subscribe as usual, and yeah, join my channel, enjoy my content. I will try to push more videos, and I wish you a nice day. Bye bye.